Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Tastiness, where we're going to explore something kind of sweet today. It could be a dessert, it could be a breakfast. You let me know what you think when we get done today. And what we're going to be making is a baked oatmeal dish. Get that? Baked oatmeal dish. You're probably like, what is a baked oatmeal dish? Well, I'm going to tell you what the creator of this recipe says a baked oatmeal dish is. She says baked oatmeal offers you the comfort of a deliciously warm bowl of oatmeal with the convenience of a batch of prep bake. So basically what this does is allows you to have your oatmeal already ready for the week. Come on now, who don't want to do that? You got your oatmeal in the refrigerator, you just got to warm it up each and every morning instead of getting up every morning, opening up the oatmeal container, pouring it in, putting it on the stove, putting it in the microwave, whatever way you do it, it's already ready with this dish. So I am so excited to try one of Sweet, Savory, and Steph recipe. I love her page on Instagram. I follow her. She has, this is I think her third baked oatmeal recipe that she's put out, and all of them have looked so delicious and decadent. I said, you know what, I'm gonna try that one today. So I'm trying the dark chocolate baked oatmeal dish today, the dark chocolate baked oatmeal dish. So for this dish we will need overripe bananas, old-fashioned oats, vanilla, unsweetened cocoa, baking powder, cane sugar, unsweetened applesauce, and some almond milk. Now let me tell you why I was a little hesitant about trying this recipe initially, is because I typically don't cook with regular cane sugar, just your traditional sugars. I normally use, yes, I'm one of those people who normally use those artificial sweeteners because, as you know, I'm a Weight Watchers person, so I typically use the artificial sweeteners in my desserts or things that require sugar so that I can lower the punch. But her desserts and her breakfasts, her recipes, they look so good, guys, so good. I said, you know what? I'm going to try this today. This Sweet, Savory, and Steph recipe today. It looks so delicious, and so I'm going to be using some cane sugar in today's recipe. And we're going to go ahead and get started by mashing our bananas. The recipe says to use 2 bananas, but I wish you all could smell the savory sweetness of these overripe bananas. I had more than 2 that were overripe and ready to go. Matter of fact, I have about 5 here. They're smaller, so I'm using about 5 of them, and I'm going to begin by mashing them. I am doubling the recipe because the recipe is 4 servings, but I want to have enough for the entire week. You all know I like some meal prep, and I just said I want my oatmeal ready every morning. So I'm doubling the recipe. Instead of it being 4 servings, it's going to be 8 servings. I'm going to use 2 casserole dishes, but I'm going to mix all of the mix in one bowl, and then I want to split my mixture between the 2 casserole dishes. So I'm going to begin by mashing my bananas. You want to mash them up really good. I wish you all could smell it. They smell so ripe and fresh. You all know how ripe bananas smell. So fragrant. Now that we've gotten our bananas all mashed up and ready to go, we're going to add in the remaining ingredients besides our milk and our oatmeal. So we're going to add in everything except the milk and the oatmeal. And it says 1/4 cup applesauce, but remember we're doubling it, so we're going to use a 1/2 cup. And I buy these regularly because a lot of recipes require unsweetened applesauce, and so these are nicely measured. This is a 1/2 cup, so I can just throw it in my dish. Next, I'm going to add in, it says 2 tablespoons of cane sugar, and sweet, savory, and Steph recommends cane sugar because she says it's coarser and that makes for a better taste for this dish. So I'm going with her recommendations. She says she's never made this recipe with a sweetener replacement, and she said, you know what, it was like she was speaking to me. She was speaking to me when she said, you can fit this in your budget. Go ahead and spend a few extra points and use that real sugar. It was like she talking to you, Vanessa. So that's what I decided I'm going to do. She recommended the cane sugar because she says it's coarser. So I'm going to use 4 tablespoons of cane sugar since I'm doubling my recipe. Next, I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of the unsweetened cocoa. Then 2 teaspoons of the vanilla extract. Again, I'm doubling my recipe. The recipe says 1, but I'm going to use 2. A teaspoon of the baking powder. This is an actual half a teaspoon, so I just put twice in for the teaspoon. And then it says a half a teaspoon of the kosher salt. You all know I use that plain salt. Now we're going to mix all of these ingredients together before we add in our, I think that's when I'm doubling it, I'm going to use 2 cups of milk instead of 1. The recipe says 1. And then I'm going to use 3 cups of the old-fashioned oats. Now that I've got all of my ingredients in my mixing bowl, besides the milk and the oatmeal, I'm going to go ahead and whisk in 2 cups of milk. Again, the recipe says 1, but I'm doubling it. Then it says fold in 1.5 cups of the old-fashioned oats, but I'm doubling it, so I'm going to do 3 cups of the old-fashioned oats. This looks like this is going to be really delicious, guys. That chocolate and the bananas and that cane sugar. I can't wait. It's going to be an exciting morning each and every day this week. And then she has it pictured with some fresh bananas. So I'm sure that would be great when you just add a side of a banana to it when you eat it. Got my mixture ready to go, and I'm going to get my casserole dishes. Now, what do y'all think? Would you rather have it as a breakfast dish or dessert? Comment below. Let me know what you think. And if you like what you've seen thus far on this Tastiness channel, subscribe to my channel. Share it with a friend. I'm so excited to share these recipes with you each and every week. It's the highlight of my weekend. What y'all think? Is this a dessert or is this breakfast? Let me know in the comments. So I've got my mixture together, and I'm going to grease both of my casserole dishes because, as I said, I've doubled my recipe. So I'm going to get my casserole dishes, put some cooking spray in them, spread my mixture between half, and then I will get my topping together for the baked oatmeal dish. Now I'm going to pour half of my mixture in one dish and half in the other. We've about got everything ready. All we have to do is add our topping. But before we add our topping, let me show you what it looks like. It's going to be delicious, guys. It's going to be delicious. This is what it looks like before we put it in the oven. And while we're talking about ovens, I forgot to tell y'all to preheat your oven to 375. But hopefully you read the recipe before you started. I've already preheated my oven to 375. We're going to cook them for 35 minutes. And then we're going to be ready. It's going to be dessert today, y'all. So let me know in the comments what y'all think about it thus far. I hope you all are enjoying my recipes. I have certainly enjoyed sharing them with you. and it's giving me an opportunity to explore different dishes and to keep my palate excited each and every week. So we're going to go ahead and make our topping. Again, we're doubling the recipe. It says for the topping we use 1/4 teaspoon of the unsweetened cocoa powder. I'm going to use a 1/2 teaspoon of the unsweetened cocoa powder. And then it says another teaspoon of that cane sugar, but we're going to use 2 teaspoons for our topping. This is going to be good, y'all. Let me get my spatula to stir it together before I put it on top. And it says to, in a small bowl, we've done that, and then it says sprinkle this mixture evenly on top of the oats. Then we're putting it in the oven for 35 minutes, and then it's showtime. Who doesn't love chocolate for breakfast? But like I said, it's going to be dessert today. Tomorrow will be breakfast. And I'm going to look forward to that chocolate for breakfast. We are ready. We're going to pop each of them in the oven for 35 minutes. While that's in the oven cooking, let me share with you all, I think we'll call them tasty tips. When I started this channel, I said I was going to share with you tips on how I have been able to maintain my weight loss for over 19 years. And as I'm sure you know, there are several things that I have in my arsenal that is just help me to just stay the course, maintain, just be on this track for so long. And one of them is I set boundaries for myself. Now these boundaries are dependent upon what I find to be my weaknesses at that time. For example, you know they say the nighttime is the right time, but not up in this house. The nighttime is not the right time for me. I try not to eat after 7 o'clock because typically at night I get relaxed. And then when it gets late, I'm probably going to start eating things that are not point friendly, going into that peanut butter jar without measuring it, grabbing 1 or 2 chips, so I say, but it's really more than that. So I try to cut off my eating by 7 p.m. because I know that eating late is a weakness for me because I don't tend to make those healthier choices at night. I know some people tell me that if they're going to have chips, they don't bring the chips into the house. They allow themselves to have chips when they're out eating. Or I heard one person tell me if they want some chips, they'll go to the store and buy an individual bag and they'll eat it while they're out and they won't bring the chips in the house. So I think establishing boundaries, you got to know what your weaknesses are and try to establish some boundaries around it. Now, do I do that every day? No, I don't do that. But I'm always having that in the back of my mind. 7 o'clock is the time that I would try not to eat after that time. So having boundaries over the years has helped me. Not, like I said, those boundaries have changed depending upon what my weaknesses are during that time. I'm sure you know over the years they change. Just like our weight can go up and down. But once I see it going in a certain direction, I say, you know what? Remember your boundaries, Vanessa. Remember your boundaries. So I would say that is one thing, along with having an accountability system, that has helped me to maintain this weight loss over the years. I mentioned exercise. I mentioned having an accountability system. And today, my tasty tip is you got to have some boundaries. You got to know your weaknesses and then set some boundaries around those. And then sometimes you have to reevaluate what your weaknesses are because sometimes they change. I'm sure you know that they do things, what may be a weakness for you now, you may have control of it later on, and then something else may be a weakness for you. It's always something that we're going to have to set some boundaries around on this weight management journey. So that's my tasty tip for today. And we're gonna go ahead and just wait for our dish to come out of the oven. It's smelling so good. I can't wait. Like I said, it's gonna be dessert tonight, y'all. Our dish has been in the oven for 35 minutes on 375 and we're ready to take it out. Can't wait. Oh guys, it looks just like the picture. It looks just like Sweet, Savory, and Steph's picture. Look at this, guys. That nice golden brown look to it. That cocoa with the cane sugar topping. I can't wait to dig in. This is 5 points on Blue Weight Watchers program. And you know that's going to be a large serving because if we divide this into 4 servings, that's a pretty big serving for 5 points. So it comes out to be a pretty good size serving for those 5 points. I typically don't spend 5 points on breakfast or dessert, but I'm excited about this one. I'm excited to give it a try, make it fit into my Weight Watchers daily points budget, as Sweet, Savory, and Steph has suggested. Doesn't this look delicious, guys? Doesn't this look like this would be a filling breakfast or a filling dessert? Add a little bit of banana to it, maybe some light Cool Whip with it. Looks delicious. Let's give it a try. I don't know which one would be good for, either one, breakfast or dessert. This is delicious, guys. Thank you for joining me on another episode of Tastiness, where we're exploring Weight Watchers recipes each and every week. Hope you enjoyed what you've seen. If so, like my page, share with a friend, and subscribe. Have a great week.